In the distant future, humanity had stretched its arms far beyond Earth, colonizing distant stars and encountering countless alien species along the way. Some were peaceful, eager for trade and collaboration, while others were hostile, driven by greed or a thirst for power. Yet, amidst the chaos of interstellar expansion, a discovery was made that would forever change the course of history. A team of explorers, led by Captain Alara Vance, stumbled upon a derelict alien warship drifting silently in the void of space. It was an eerie sight, blackened and scarred by ancient battles, the ship's once majestic design now shattered and forgotten. Among the twisted wreckage, something extraordinary lay hidden. In the ship's heart, on a pedestal of strange metal, was an armor, an exosuit unlike any other. The explorers immediately recognized its power and significance. This was Exoprime, an ancient suit of armor, said to have been created by a race long lost to time. But there was something unsettling about it. It was clear that the armor was not simply a weapon. It was something far more profound. Upon closer examination, they discovered that Exoprime was designed with an intelligence that far surpassed anything humanity had ever encountered. The suit seemed alive, almost sentient. But there was a catch. Every alien that attempted to wear it was rejected with brutal force. As the first alien attempted to step into the suit, the armor emitted a brilliant flash of light, sending the creature flying back, its body paralyzed. The same thing happened to the next alien and the next. It didn't matter what species tried. The armor simply refused them. The scientists and explorers were stunned. Why would a suit of such incredible, power-reject beings who were, by all accounts, far more advanced than humans? What made the armor so selective? Theories began to circulate. Some believed that the armor had been designed to reject all life forms except its creators, an ancient species now lost to time. Others speculated that the armor was a kind of test, choosing only those worthy of its power. But one thing was certain: the armor was rejecting every alien life form that came near it, regardless of their strength or capabilities. As the weeks passed, the story of Exoprime spread throughout the galaxy. Alien diplomats, warlords, and treasure hunters all tried to get their hands on the suit, hoping to harness its unimaginable power. But each attempt ended in failure. The armor would reject them without hesitation, sending them away, bruised and bewildered. The mystery only deepened when humans learned of it. How could a suit created by an alien race reject every alien species it encountered? Could it be that the armor held a secret? A key to understanding something much greater than anyone had anticipated? As human scientists and soldiers began their own investigations, they discovered something remarkable. The armor seemed to be attuned to a certain kind of energy, a frequency that none of the alien species could match. It was as if the suit was waiting for something specific. Yet, despite their best efforts, the armor remained stubbornly silent, refusing to communicate its true purpose. And with each failed attempt, the stakes grew higher. What if this armor was humanity's only chance to level the playing field against the galaxy's most powerful threats? What if the suit was not a relic of a dead civilization, but a weapon waiting for its true wielder to come forth? Captain Alara Vance stood in front of the suit, her mind racing. She had heard the rumors, seen the failures, but as she gazed at Exoprime, she couldn't help but wonder, what if it wasn't rejecting the aliens because it hated them, but because it was searching for something else entirely? Something only humans could provide. Something that had yet to be revealed. As the mystery deepened and more alien species grew desperate to claim the armor, Alara felt a sense of unease settle over her. There was more to this discovery than anyone realized. The armor wasn't just a weapon, it was a challenge, and whoever succeeded in wearing it would change the fate of the galaxy forever. But the question remained: who would be worthy enough to wear the armor? And why was it rejecting everything that wasn't human? The stage was set for a discovery that would unravel the very fabric of the galaxy. And somewhere, deep within the heart of Exoprime, a secret waited to be uncovered. A secret that could alter the destiny of humanity itself. The human colonies were growing restless. As alien aggression continued to rise, the fear of invasion cast a dark shadow over the once thriving human territories. Every new discovery of hostile alien species only deepened the sense of vulnerability. Yet, amidst this growing fear, one hope stood above all else. Exoprime, the armor that had been found aboard the alien warship. It had the potential to change everything, but only if they could unlock its secret. Captain Alara Vance, now leading a specialized team of scientists and soldiers, was determined to uncover the mystery of the armor. Her personal connection to the situation ran deep. Her family had been lost in one of the many raids carried out by alien forces, and she couldn't bear the thought of humanity remaining defenseless. The armor could be the key to humanity's survival, but its rejection of every alien species only left more questions than answers. Alara's team worked tirelessly, poring over every piece of data, every scan, and every clue they could find. They discovered that the armor had been created by a long-extinct civilization, one that had once roamed the stars in an attempt to protect the galaxy from threats far greater than anything humanity had faced. The armor was designed as a weapon, yes, but it was also much more. A guardian, built to bond with a worthy protector. The civilization that created it had long since vanished, leaving behind only remnants of their extraordinary technology. But why had this ancient race built the armor to reject every alien species it encountered? As they studied the intricate design of Exoprime, the team uncovered something peculiar. A strange code embedded deep within the structure of the suit. The code was unlike anything they had ever seen. It wasn't just a technical design or a sequence of commands. It was a language. The armor itself was, in a way, alive, programmed to seek out something beyond the mere power of its wearer. It seemed to be searching for a connection that only a very specific individual could provide. But who? And why? Theories about the armor's true purpose began to emerge. Some suggested that it was attuned to a certain energy or frequency, something that no alien race could match. But as the team's investigations continued, they began to suspect that the key wasn't technical at all. The armor wasn't rejecting aliens because they were weaker or unworthy. It was rejecting them because they lacked a deeper connection, one that could only be found in humans. This theory was not easily accepted by everyone on the team. Many dismissed it as nothing more than a wild hope. But Alara, driven by her own loss and the looming threat of galactic war, felt that there was something to it. She began to entertain the idea that the armor was waiting for something. Something more profound than just a physical match. Could it be that the armor was drawn to the very spirit of humanity? To the resilience and strength that humans had shown time and time again in the face of impossible odds? While the rest of the team was focused on cracking the technical code, Alara began to reflect on her own life, her own grief, and the passion that burned within her. She had seen humanity struggle, but she had also seen humans rise from the ashes, reborn stronger and more determined than before. Was that the key? Was it possible that Exoprime recognized this quality in humans and had been waiting for someone with the right combination of resolve and heart to claim it? The pressure on the team grew as the looming threat of alien invasion became ever more real. Each day, new reports of alien fleets approaching human colonies poured in, and the clock was ticking. Alara couldn't afford to waste time. She knew the armor could change everything, but she also understood that no one else would be able to unlock it. It had to be a human like her, someone who had witnessed the worst of what the galaxy had to offer but was still standing. It was this unyielding will to survive, to fight, to protect, that she believed the armor sought. And if she was right, then humanity had a chance. a real chance to turn the tide. As the team gathered their findings and prepared to make their next move, Alara stood before Exo Prime, her fingers brushing the smooth surface of the suit. She could feel its power, but more importantly, she could feel something else, a connection, as though the armor was waiting for her. It was no longer just a piece of technology to be studied. It was a challenge, a test of humanity's very spirit. And Alara, with the weight of the galaxy on her shoulders, knew that the answer might lie within herself. The mystery deepened, but so did her resolve. The search for a solution had only just begun, but Alara was certain of one thing. Exo Prime was not rejecting humanity. It was waiting for it. And soon, the galaxy would learn what it truly meant to stand beside a human in the face of the unknown. The tension was palpable as Captain Alara Vance stood in the dimly lit chamber, her eyes fixed on the ancient armor. Exo Prime rested before her, gleaming faintly in the glow of the room's lights. The air was thick with the weight of history, and every member of the team could feel it. They had spent months studying this remarkable relic, but no one, no alien or human, had been able to unlock its potential. Every attempt had failed. But now, as the alien fleets loomed closer, humanity's fate hung by a thread, and Alara knew that it was time to act. Despite the warnings from her team, she stepped forward. The armor, which had repelled every being before her, seemed almost to watch her approach, its surface pulsing with a strange energy. "Are you sure about this, Captain?" a voice from behind her asked. It was Lieutenant Haynes, his face pale with worry. "We don't know what this could do to you. The others—" "I know the risks," Alara interrupted, her voice steady but with an undercurrent of determination. "We have no other choice." With that, she took another step, her fingers brushing against the cool surface of the suit. The moment she made contact, a low hum vibrated through the room, and the suit reacted. The ground seemed to tremble, and a bright flash of light surged from the armor, momentarily blinding everyone present. A strange, magnetic force pulled Alara toward the suit, as if the armor itself was reaching out to her. But then, just as it had with every alien before her, the armor began to reject her. A sharp surge of energy blasted from the suit, sending Alara stumbling back, her body shaking from the force. She fell to one knee, gasping for breath, as her team rushed to her side. "Captain!" Haynes shouted, his voice full of concern. But Alara's resolve didn't waver. She had already faced too much loss, too many battles, and far too many uncertainties. She had seen the cost of humanity's survival, how lives could be lost in the blink of an eye. Yet through it all, there was something deep inside her that would not break, something unshakable. She stood up, her fists clenched with defiance, and faced the armor again. The rejection had not been out of hatred, it had been a test. The suit had not yet found what it was waiting for. The room fell silent as Alara slowly stepped toward Exo Prime once more. She could feel the energy in the room shift, the armor now sensing her unyielding spirit. The rejection faded, replaced by an almost imperceptible pull. Alara closed her eyes, allowing her thoughts to quiet. She focused not on the armor itself, but on her inner strength, on the burning desire to protect those she loved, to protect humanity. As she did, a strange warmth enveloped her. The suit seemed to respond to her, its surface beginning to ripple, as though alive. The transformation was gradual at first. The armor shifted, molding itself around her body. A faint hum filled the room, growing louder, as the once stiff and unyielding suit softened and became one with her. The room's air seemed to shimmer with energy, and a translucent, shimmering force field enveloped her form, pulsating with power. The team watched in awe as Alara's body seemed to merge with the armor. Her senses were heightened. She could feel every molecule of air around her, hear the faintest sound, see the faintest movements. The suit had recognized her, not just as a human, but as someone capable of carrying its legacy. It wasn't merely rejecting her before. It had been waiting for someone with the right spirit, the right heart, to unlock its potential. Alara felt the power surging within her, but it wasn't just physical strength. It was a deep, resonant force that amplified her every emotion. As she flexed her fingers, the armor responded. Her mind and body were now perfectly synchronized with the suit, enhancing her reflexes, strength, and focus. A pulse of energy coursed through her, and she could feel it radiating outward, as if the very armor was alive, breathing in tandem with her. The team stood speechless, still struggling to comprehend what had just happened. The rejection, the battle. It was all part of the process, Alara realized. Exoprime had not been looking for power alone. It had been searching for something that no alien had to offer. It had been waiting for her, for the unwavering spirit of a human who would not give up, even when the odds were impossible. In that moment, Captain Vance knew that the tide of the coming war had shifted. She wasn't just wearing a suit of armor. She was now the armor's chosen protector, and the fate of humanity rested in her hands. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. The first wave of alien ships entered the human sector, their blackened hulls gleaming ominously in the void of space. The intelligence was clear. This was no mere raid. The alien fleet, massive and heavily armed, was intent on wiping out humanity, once and for all. The word spread like wildfire through the human colonies. Desperation and fear gripped every corner of human space, and the cry for defense reached its peak. But what could humanity possibly do against such an overwhelming force? Until now, the answer had been nothing. But now, with Exoprime bound to Alara, the tides of fate were about to change. Alara stood in the command center of the fleet, her body still attuned to the armor that had chosen her. The power coursing through her was unlike anything she had ever felt before. The once unstable connection to Exoprime had now become her greatest weapon, and with it, she felt capable of taking on the galaxy itself. The suit's advanced systems had revealed themselves to her in layers, defensive shields that could deflect the most powerful of alien firepower, weapons capable of obliterating entire ships with a single strike, and propulsion systems that could allow her to outmaneuver even the fastest enemies. Yet, it wasn't all invincibility. The armor's power came with limitations. It could only sustain itself for a short time, and once it reached its peak, it would need to recharge, leaving her vulnerable. But that was something Alara could manage. She had always been a strategist, and now, with the armor at her command, she knew the time had come to show the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of. As the alien fleet loomed closer, Alara addressed her crew, her voice steady but charged with purpose. "This is it. We have one chance. We can't afford to wait. If we let them reach our colonies, it will be over." Her eyes flashed with determination. "We fight now, or we fight later. But this time, we will show them that humanity is not to be underestimated." The crew nodded, rallying behind her. Alara turned to face the massive holographic map, pinpointing the enemy's exact location. The alien ships were closing in on a defenseless colony, one of the last safe havens in human space. It was time to act. "All ships, prepare for battle," she commanded. In the vast expanse of space, Alara's ship, along with the human fleet, surged forward, ready to face the oncoming threat. As they drew nearer, she activated the full power of Exoprime. The suit seemed to hum with energy, a pulse that resonated deep within her chest. Her body surged with enhanced strength, her senses sharpening to a razor's edge. She was more than just a soldier now. She was a force of nature, guided by the armor's ancient will. The first alien ship fired a salvo of devastating energy blasts toward her fleet, but Alara reacted instantly, raising a shimmering force field around herself. The blasts exploded harmlessly against the shield, and with a roar, Ilara leaped from the deck of her ship, her form streaking through the vacuum of space, propelled by the suit's advanced systems. In seconds, she closed the distance between her and the alien ships. Her hands crackled with energy, and she unleashed a barrage of devastating shots that tore through the alien hulls like paper. Ships exploded in flashes of light as Ilara fought her way through the enemy fleet. Her movements were flawless, graceful, powerful, and precise. She was a blur of motion, her armor blending seamlessly with her every action. The invaders, stunned by the unexpected ferocity of humanity's response, faltered. Their formations shattered as Ilara's strikes forced them into retreat. One by one, their ships fell before her, unable to withstand the full might of Exo Prime in her hands. She was no longer just Captain Ilara Vance. She was a symbol of humanity's defiance, a beacon of hope in the darkness of space. As the battle raged on, Ilara could feel the armor's energy beginning to drain. She had fought hard, but now she had to withdraw. The suit's systems began to flicker, and she knew it was time to give it the time it needed to recharge. With one last devastating blow, she disabled the flagship of the enemy fleet, sending it spiraling out of control. The remaining ships, witnessing the destruction and the power of their human adversaries, quickly retreated, their morale shattered. The battle was won, but the cost was clear. Ilara's body, though still protected by the suit, was weary, and the armor's energy was nearly spent. But in the eyes of the human fleet, Ilara Vance was no longer just a leader. She was a legend. Humanity had fought back, not with desperation, but with power, unity, and a fierce will to survive. Ilara's reputation spread like wildfire across human colonies. She was the symbol of resilience, the embodiment of humanity's undying fight for survival. The galaxy had seen the strength of humans, not as weak, defenseless creatures, but as fierce warriors capable of standing against the greatest threats the stars could throw at them. As Ilara returned to her ship, the weight of victory pressed against her. She had only just begun to understand the full power of Exo Prime, and already it had changed the course of the war. But the battle was far from over. The enemy would return, and next time, humanity would be ready. Humanity had emerged from the shadows of fear and uncertainty, standing tall in the wake of a war that threatened to annihilate them. The galaxy had witnessed the rise of a new power, one that could not be ignored. The battle against the alien invaders had not only secured humanity's place in the stars, but had also marked the beginning of a new era. With Exo Prime at her side, Captain Ilara Vance had become more than just a leader. She was a symbol of humanity's resilience, ingenuity, and will to survive. In the months following the victory, the newly formed Human Space Alliance grew stronger. No longer scattered and vulnerable, the human colonies had united under a single banner, determined to defend their future and explore the galaxy together. The alien species, who had once underestimated humanity, now watched with wary eyes. Some saw the newly empowered humans as a threat, while others, less hostile, began to consider alliances with the human race. But Ilara knew that this was just the beginning. The galaxy was vast, and while humanity had shown its strength, many challenges still lay ahead. As the leader of the Human Defense Force, Ilara had the difficult task of keeping the peace and guiding humanity's expansion into the stars. She was no longer just a captain. She was the protector of a unified species, a force to be reckoned with. But her greatest concern was Exo Prime. What was its true purpose? What legacy had the ancient armor left behind? These questions still haunted her as she worked to unlock more of the suit's secrets, striving to ensure that humanity could continue to evolve without ever forgetting the lessons of the past. One day, as the Alliance celebrated its newfound strength, a new threat appeared. A powerful alien ruler who had heard the whispers of the legendary armor and sought it for his own. He believed that possessing Exoprime would give him the power to control the galaxy. His fleet, vast and formidable, approached the human colonies, determined to claim what they could not understand. Ilara, with Exoprime once again bonded to her, prepared to face this new challenge head-on. The confrontation was inevitable. As Ilara met the alien ruler in the vast reaches of space, the tension was thick. His fleet circled around her, and his eyes burned with a desire to wield the power of the armor for himself. "You humans think you are the galaxy's new masters," he sneered, his voice amplified across the comms. "But I will show you that no one, not even you, can stand against me." Ilara stood firm, her voice calm but filled with unwavering strength. "This armor is not yours to take. Exoprime was never meant for anyone but humans." Without hesitation, the alien ruler approached the suit, thinking himself capable of wielding its power. But as he touched Exoprime, the same rejection that had occurred countless times before took place. A violent surge of energy erupted from the suit, sending him flying back into the emptiness of space. His fleet faltered, confused and shaken by the unexpected turn of events. Exoprime had rejected him, not out of hatred, but because the armor recognized the truth. Its power could not be wielded by anyone but humanity. The alien ruler, humiliated and defeated, retreated with his forces, leaving the human colonies untouched. It was a decisive victory, but one that carried a deeper meaning. Exoprime had shown once again that it was not a tool of destruction, but a guardian of humanity. It was a testament to their unique strength, their spirit, and their heart. The galaxy now understood that the power of Exoprime could not be usurped. It was not a weapon to be claimed, but a force that belonged only to those who could truly embody its legacy. With the alien fleet in retreat and peace talks finally underway, Ilara stood on the bridge of her ship, gazing out at the stars. The victory was significant, but it was only a chapter in the story of humanity's future. Exoprime had not just protected humanity, it had given them a new identity. One where they were no longer the underdogs, but a people who had proven their worth to the galaxy. Ilara understood now that the armor was more than just a powerful weapon. It was a symbol, a reflection of everything that made humanity unique. Their resilience, their ingenuity, and their unwavering will to stand tall in the face of adversity. As the first light of dawn broke across the horizon of a new era, Ilara felt a sense of peace settle over her. The armor was more than a gift, it was a responsibility, and humanity was ready for it. The galaxy had taken notice, and humanity would not be forgotten or taken for granted. The new age had begun, and this time, humanity would define its own destiny.